What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the F124 Ferrari Driver Career Mode. Yes, we are back this time out at the Mexican Grand Prix, Mexico City Grand Prix, whatever you want to call it. We are at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, and yes, this is a decent track for racing, I would say, in the game. Maybe not so much in real life, but the car did feel good throughout P1, 2, and 3. And we are going to be taking a 10-place grid penalty this weekend because I had to take a new internal combustion engine, a new ICE, because it was getting extremely worn. But it doesn't look like I'll have to replace anything else for the rest of the season. Unless, of course, something goes up in smoke between now and Abu Dhabi. But looks like we're going to have a little bit of rain for qualifying. So yeah, let's jump straight into this. Honestly, we could see some shock Q1 exits here because some of the front runners might have gone out later because they also thought the rain was coming later than it really is. And now hopefully we won't get held up by this car in front of us. So we head through turns 1, 2, and 3. A lot of understeer in the wet conditions here on slick tires. Very difficult. We had similar conditions to this at the end of the Grand Prix in Singapore, if you remember, as the Aston Martin is going to get out of my way, but I do just get a little bit of wheel spin there. So if you do remember, I wasn't able to pass Max Verstappen in Singapore, but luckily we made up for it at the next race in Texas. As now we're going to head through here, which is normally flat out in these dry conditions, but now these tricky conditions, definitely not. This has been a very scruffy lap, if I'm being completely honest. As now we head through this iconic stadium section, as all the Mexican fans rise to their feet when they see Sergio Perez come through. Atmosphere here is incredible every year, as now we head up towards the line, and it is only P7. We might have to go back out for another run, or that might even be us out of Q1. Well, here at the end of Q1, Oscar Piastri tops the timing sheets next to his teammate Lando Norris, Kevin Magnussen fourth, up there. And now, yep, I thought that might happen. Max Verstappen, championship leader, out in Q1. So this is amazing for us. Sergio Perez just squeezes through into Q2 at his home Grand Prix by exactly 0.2 of a second from his teammate George Russell, also out. So I told you we might have some shock Q1 exits. So both Saubers and both Haas cars through, as well as both Williams. So let's progress to Q2. It should be about time for inters. Now I do feel a lot more confident now that we have the tires meant for these kinds of conditions. But yeah, I'm going to talk about Max Verstappen being knocked out in Q1. I mean, all the way down in 16th place. I mean, that is going to be a great thing for myself and Charles Leclerc. So could this be championship fight back on? He had bad luck in qualifying last time out in Kota as well. I'm just trying to hold my focus here through this section as we go a little off track, but we lift out of the circuit as to not spin. As now we head into this stadium section once more, all the way down into first gear. Let the steering slow the car down rather than hitting the brake more than necessary. And now you have to be nice and patient on the throttle out of this final corner, else you'll pull a Valtteri Bottas. And now that will be us P5, but we're still second, 1.2 seconds actually off of Lando Norris. Well, here at the end of Q2, Lewis Hamilton tops the timing sheets from Fernando Alonso. Sergio Perez once again makes it through, as does Daniel Ricciardo. So it seems at one of his more stronger tracks, he is back up in the fight once again after having a run of quite a few bad races. Actually, Racing Bulls have been very inconsistent this season. And Kevin Magnussen makes it through, as well as Logan Sargent. Would you look at that? So obviously proving his worth up against Alexander Albon. But out in Q2, we have Valtteri Bottas, Alex Albon, Nico Hulkenberg, Yuki Tsunoda, and Zhou Guanyu. So yeah, let's go to Q3. I think we can be in the upper midfield, but only one way to find out. Well, now as I round the final few corners in my Ferrari car, preparing to head up towards the line for my first run of Q1. With a very wobbly exit out of the final corner. But that is still the fastest lap of the 117.9, so I thought we had better pace in the dry than the wet. Seems I was right. Ricardo right now up in third. Well, I am going to be the final one to set my last lap of Q3, as now we head out of the final corner. We're like 1.5 seconds up right now, so I'm not sure if I just need to up the difficulty or something. But yeah, no, lap times are dropping, so it's not that. It was just I had better track conditions. Because now absolutely everybody is going to be setting fastest lap after fastest lap. Charles Leclerc right now has the quickest time. Will that be overturned by anybody else? Doesn't seem like it at the moment. As Magnussen in 7th, so decent performance from him. We're a second up right now on our lap. So it looks like it's between myself and Charles Leclerc for pole position. And Ricardo, obviously, having a standout performance in his V-Carb. He was 3rd at the start of Q3. And Logan Sargent in 9th, presumably 10th, as long as I can hold this lap together. So a lot of points up for grabs for the midfield teams today. As now, will this be good enough for pole position up towards the line? Can we snatch pole right out of our teammate's grasp? Might not have been good enough, but no, only 7th actually. I thought we would be way further up there, but that's only P7.
With qualifying wrapped up now, we have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
Well, I'm obviously speechless right now. Our teammate, we're 7, almost 8/10 off of our teammate. Wow. Okay, wasn't expecting that. As we could have made some more time up in the second sector, but that's all behind us now. Sergio Perez starting 2nd, so he'll be in contention for the lead, heading down all the way through the long run into turn 1. And then Fernando Alonso in 4th, good effort from him. Then comes Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, then ourselves, Kevin Magnussen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Logan Sargent. So a lot of points up for grab in the championship here. Can Charles Leclerc try to take a chunk out of Max Verstappen's 65-point lead? And we should be able to do something about that as well. But we saw Max Verstappen make a great recovery drive last time out in Austin. Can he do the same this time?
Bienvenidos to the most populous city in North America. The legendary Jim Clark won the first official F1 race back in 1963 here, and we've had a veritable who's who of winners ever since. It's Mexico City, and therefore the Mexico City Grand Prix. We're a long way above sea level here in Mexico today, which could pose some cooling issues for the cars as they make their way around this 2.6-mile lap. 17 corners with top speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and watch out for potential overtaking into turns 1 and 4. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Norris, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Sargent, Bottas, Leclerc, Albon, Hülkenberg, Verstappen, Ocon, Mr. Monaco, Stroll, Russell, Gasly, Tsunoda, and Zhou Guanyu. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Well, it's been a long time since I last worked with you. Good to see you again today. Anthony Davidson. Let's look at their season, and particularly against their teammate. Fair to say they've got the better of them more often than not. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? what do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Well, I have completely forgotten that we had to take the grid penalties. I don't know what I was thinking. And furthermore, Charles Leclerc has to take a grid penalty as well. So he'll be down to 10th, which means Sergio Perez will be starting on pole position for the first time ever here at the Mexican Grand Prix. So can he challenge Oscar Piastri and take a win at his home race for the first time? We'll find out. We'll be starting P15. Max Verstappen, 2 cars ahead of us. Let's get a good start.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres.
Well, I'm sure Sergio Perez will be feeling the pressure as he sees Piastri and Alonso and Hamilton.
So as all the cars take their positions on the grid, the teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. And the question I'm asking is which teams have got it right, which ones have got it horribly wrong?
As he sees them in his wing mirrors, he will be feeling the pressure. As I said, as it looks like everybody has gone for the one stop today. Should be in around lap 16. Around there. As Logan Sargent starting up in P8, I believe. So a highest start from him this season, if I recall correctly. And we're going to have Lance Stroll directly behind us. So it is absolutely crucial we get a good start off the line here. We're going to be directly behind Max Verstappen's car. As now we have 5 red lights for the Mexican Grand Prix. And it is lights out. And away we go as we get off to an absolutely amazing start there. Not so good in the second phase, kind of how we were in Silverstone, but now we are going to pick up a slipstream from all the cars ahead. And now we are wheel to wheel with Max Verstappen, championship leader, heading into turn 1. We're going to go around the outside of absolutely everybody there, almost heading into the back of our teammate. And now we do have a little bit of wheel banging as he is battling away with Valtteri Bottas. And now we're up into P11 already, just ahead of Nico Hülkenberg in his Haas car. So now we are just outside the points, and we get an absolutely great start. As now we're going to look around the outside of Charles Leclerc, but no room for 3 cars to go through there, let alone 2. But now we are going to get a run on the outside of Valtteri Bottas in his Sauber car. And now we hold the inside line. We're up into the points before we're even halfway done with lap 1. So, great start for us. Leclerc is right now stuck behind Kevin Magnussen. Don't think we picked up any wing damage from that little bit of contact with our teammate. So this start was absolutely crucial as we kind of used the concertina effect to our advantage and went around the outside of everybody there into turn 1. But now as we round the final corner for the first time at 36,
Let's try and move forward.
Sergio Perez leads the Grand Prix from Lewis Hamilton.
Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push.
Whoa, as we send it on our teammate there. I wasn't really expecting that move to happen, but it just kind of happened. I'm not really sure. But now that is us up into P9 ahead of our teammate Charles Leclerc. So now we need to prove that we do have the superior race paces. Look at that. The top 3 just absolutely romping away from the field. And now the Williams car with its straight line speed characteristics will be difficult to pass down the straight. But now Kevin Magnussen goes into harvest mode, and we're going to pick up the slipstream from him. And now it should be a simple enough move around the outside. And now we're up into P8 behind Logan Sargent. Like I said, could be difficult
Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place.
to make a pass on Sargent, as Mark encourages us there. So we certainly have got some moves, feeling very racy at the start of the Mexico City Grand Prix. Well, I've just been hanging back for the past few laps here as we make a move on him, and that's us up into P7. I've always thought they should kind of redesign this stadium section, or at least the corner before it, the quick right-hander, which we just passed Sargent into, in order to make overtaking more prominent. Just want to have a look at my engine temperature here. Yeah, so this is the highest circuit in Formula One, above sea level, very high up, so the thin air really makes cooling difficult, as Alonso has passed, or pulled away from, I guess I should say, Danny Rick. And now I hate to do this to you, Daniel,
Okay,
but
mate, we're not using as much fuel as we predicted, which means we've got extra performance in hand, so let's push, and use it all up.
whoa, I just got onto the grass there, and that was nearly a plane crash, as now we come back onto the circuit side by side with Logan Sargent. I didn't want to come on too early just in case there was a penalty coming my way. So now we are going to be out of the DRS range of Daniel Ricciardo, unfortunately. But going up towards the first turn, we should be back in it. Can't be making mistakes like that too much. Well, I'm having a look here, and it just seems that my rear tires are getting a little bit hot as Daniel goes very defensive already, as we're not going to be close enough to make a move. But can we have another look on him heading into turn 4? That explains why my tires have been spinning so much, is because they're very hot and exceeding the temperature window. So I'm actually just going to pull out of his dirty air down the straights, maybe to help cool a little bit the tires. And now can I get a better exit out of this middle sector to pass Daniel going into the stadium section? I know that trying to take these corners flat out can be very dangerous with hot tires. I experienced it in practice several times. You can see the car just wanting to step out for me there once or twice, but now we are gaining and gaining on Daniel Ricciardo, and we're going to be later on the brakes. The man who's usually last of the late breakers is not going to be braking late enough. Well, Lando Norris has caught up with his teammate Oscar Piastri, and at this very moment, Lewis Hamilton leads this Mexico City Grand Prix from Sergio Perez, trying to claim his first victory here in Mexico, and I can just imagine the absolute scenes if that were to happen. But now them all concertining up should get Fernando Alonso closer to them, as now Alonso is 2 seconds behind Norris, as I just can't stop these tires from overheating. It is so very bad, especially for degradation. And now we can get on the throttle nice and early and just deploy battery all the way down this straight.
Faster, 1 second.
And Fernando Alonso gained a second on this lap, so not good. So now we'll be in on lap 16, so 4 laps from now. And hopefully we can maybe do a little bit of an undercut, and I don't think the hard tires will overheat as much. You can just see how much I'm struggling with the rears.
Be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
As now in the DRS zones, they are pulling away a lot more, especially down this long straight. I'm probably going to be losing about a second, or somewhere up in that range.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
Well, coming in 2 laps, but I feel like I should come in at the end of this lap. I will be caught in that traffic, unfortunately, but I feel like now is the best time to get in, because as you can see, Logan Sargent's still holding position at the top of that train. But I feel like if I come in now, I could gain the time that I need on the cars in front. And I'll have warmer tires for when they come in. Yeah, I'm definitely coming at the end of this lap. These tires are done. You can just see the rears there.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
Now this section is supposed to be so much quicker, but I keep having to lift due to my hot tires. And Checo still leads at this moment, so it looks like he definitely does have the pace to win. I think it'll be DRS games all the way to the end of the Grand Prix. And now we need to be a good stop.
Perfect. Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that.
So I'm going to charge some battery in the pit lane, and luckily this whole gaggle of cars will be quite a way in front of us.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
So now this will give us plenty of clear air to work with, but we will catch up to them rather quick because of the huge concertina effect. I mean, they're as close as they were at the start.
Okay, mate. Tyres are running hot, mate. Tyres are running hot. Please keep the temps down if you can.
Okay, so the team telling me to make sure not to get the tires too hot. And now we have, race leader Lewis Hamilton, well, fighting for the lead, I guess. Not race leader, into the pit lane, as well as one of the McLaren cars. And now that has backed us up immensely through that part of the track in the final corner. But now, do we have enough to get ahead of either of them? No, it doesn't look like it, unfortunately, as there's Fernando Alonso, though, directly ahead of us. So we definitely have gained quite a bit of time on these guys. And now absolutely everybody's going to be fighting. There's one of the McLaren cars. So now we need to get up the road immediately. We have the warmer tires that are more in the optimized window. And I can see Fernando we're getting backed up so bad here. This now we go right the way around the outside of Fernando Alonso, and he won't be happy about that whatsoever. So I believe that is net P5. And now through here, Zhou Guanyu. Needs to kind of get out of my way here.
Car behind you's just come in for the hard tyres. Car behind, running hard tyres.
And now I'm pushing, and we pass Zhou Guanyu, but so does Fernando Alonso, crucially. And now they're going to back Lando Norris up as we round the final corner. I am going to be in the DRS zone, and now my teammate Charles Leclerc, who is still caught in this whole gaggle of cars, is in.
Nice work. Really good job with that target, mate.
And now Sergio Perez is exiting the pit lane up ahead. So that is Lewis Hamilton, who has an even bigger lead of the Grand Prix now. And now we need to clear Lando Norris. You can see Checo just ahead here. So it is Hamilton from Piastri. But now Perez waiting that extra lap really hasn't helped him. But Max Verstappen up in 7th position, although has he stopped? I'm not sure if he has. The sequence of pit stops really jumbled that whole order up down there. I don't think Logan Sargent will be leading that train anymore. He was never going to finish 7th after the pit stops happened. But now we stay completely flat out through here. We had DRS, so now we are absolutely back in this fight. The tires aren't really overheating as much as they were, and like I said, we have clear air and they are the hards, so they won't really overheat as much. As now we come out of the final corner, deploy a little bit more battery, and now all the way down.
By 20.6 seconds.
The extremely long straight. Lando Norris just harvesting some battery there. As now we are gaining on the McLaren driver. Which way is he going to defend? He does defend to the inside, so we're going to go around the outside, which gives us the inside for turn 2. And now that is us up into P4. Now we're behind home hero Sergio Perez. 3 seconds up the road is Oscar Piastri from Lewis Hamilton. We might still have the pace to win this now. So obviously I did make the right call coming in early for the hard compound tires. I do think we could have been a little closer if we hadn't been held up in the stadium section at the very tail end of that field. As now Checo is not going to be in DRS range ahead. We have gained a little bit on Piastri. We're 5 tenths down from last time I mentioned the gap heading down into turn 4. And now can we have a look into the stadium section? No, not anything in it there. I don't see a lot of moves into the stadium section, and when you do, there usually is a little bit of contact. As now here we go, we have this massive main pit straight to go as Hulkenberg retires from the session.
Safety car deployed.
Safety car.
Stay positive.
Well, we have a safety car there. So just as it looked like I was going to make the move on Checo Perez, Valtteri Bottas out of the session. Red flag.
Drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
So with 16 laps left to go in this Grand Prix, we have now
Let's get ready.
got a red flag, which means Max Verstappen will have the opportunity to get a little more points.
So let's think.
Well, I just wanted to have a look here what happened to Valtteri Bottas, as now we can see, yep, some smoke coming out from the back of his Kick Sauber car, and now that is Valtteri out of the Grand Prix. And then if we go a few cars back to Nico Hulkenberg, his engine just goes up in smoke as well at the exact same time, so they both pull over and retire from the Grand Prix right next to each other as Valtteri backs into Nico. Do we stay on those hard tires, or should we go for something different? Such, no, we'll stick with what the teams say. So yeah.
I know deja vu here, but there's a good opportunity to get this started.
We will be starting P4, and now we have 5 red lights. Lights out. And away we go for the second time in this Mexico City Grand Prix. We do get about as well of a start as Sergio Perez. We're already up into third, and now we are gaining on Lewis Hamilton and Oscar Piastri. And Avenue's going to open up around the outside. Can we take it? Yes, we do. We go all the way around the outside. We take the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix here, and now we are going to head up into turn 1. I think there was a little bit of wheel bang in Lewis Hamilton, and now we are going to head up down into turn 4 in the lead of the race. Well, now as we come up towards the line,
The stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
DRS is now online, but they won't get it this lap. But Lewis is still gaining on us slightly with the slipstream and a little bit of battery usage, but he's not going to be close enough to make a move. I just can't emphasize enough how great that move was up into turn 1 on the outside. Very reminiscent to Max Verstappen taking the lead in 2021. As now Lewis is going to be gaining with a little bit of battery, but once again he's not close enough to make a move. Our teammate is down fighting for 18th place, so he must have got bogged down off the start. Not a good weekend for current second in the standings, Charles Leclerc. And this certainly will mean we will move ahead of him in the drivers' standings. And Max Verstappen, I think, is in the points. I think he's running behind Fernando Alonso in one of the lower points-paying positions. So, once again, a decent recovery drive from him so far. But we've seen how trains can affect this race. And now Lewis is going to pull out to the left-hand side, and he is going to retake the lead of the Mexico City Grand Prix. Can we get past him? Team saying the tires are wearing just a little bit much. He is going to have DRS still because he had it at the first detection zone, and it is a double DRS zone. So now Lewis back in front of us. As now we come out of the final corner once again.
The car ahead is a second a lap faster than you.
Lewis sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He is on a fresh set of the medium tires, but those will be gone by the end of this race, as now we are gaining in the slipstream of Lewis Hamilton. And now our Ferrari engine showing its straight line superiority. But it is very close to the Mercedes, which makes me excited for the race in Las Vegas.
Nice move. Keep going.
Well, here now, 11 laps from the end of the Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton is gaining, and he's gaining, and he's gaining, and is he going to be close enough into turn 1? We're going to try to hold it around the outside, and yeah, I just imagine the next few laps will just be us swapping positions down into turn 1. Well, now Lewis Hamilton does retake the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix here on lap 32 of 36. But I do sense another move coming for us. We've had great wheel-to-wheel battles here at the end of this Grand Prix, and that is just allowing Oscar Piastri, who's pulled away from his teammate Lando Norris, who's also battling away on his own with Fernando Alonso and Sergio Perez. But as I said, I do sense a move coming for us down into turn 1. We are going to be close enough. We just don't really have the battery for it, so he'll be able to defend. So he'll have the upper hand on that side. As now we're going to come out of the final corner.
Gap to your teammate behind, 17.1 seconds.
Yeah, 17 seconds for Charles Leclerc. As now, here comes another move. Once again, can we have the inside? No, he's going to hold it. And now we're going to head right the way around the outside of Lewis Hamilton to retake the lead once again. Well, now I have pushed absolutely as hard as I can in the final part of the lap, and now I think we have broken the DRS with Lewis Hamilton. Yes, we have. So his tires clearly are falling off. So now with him out of my DRS, can Piastri have a run for second place? Only time will tell. But I think on the final lap of the race, when the fuel will be the lowest, I'm going to charge up my battery and go for a last lap, fastest lap attempt. Because every point counts, as this is a crucial stage of the championship. Well, now we are preparing to start the final lap of the Grand Prix, and I've charged up all the battery I can, and this will be our last lap, fastest lap attempt.
Okay, you've just started the final lap of the race. Final lap.
Well, it has been quite a display of racecraft here today for the Mexico City Grand Prix. I don't think this will be enough for fastest lap, but we win the Mexican Grand Prix.
The thin air makes this event a brutal one for these Formula One cars, but this team have done a fantastic job to make it to the checkered flag and take a well-earned victory today.
And that's 2 wins in a row now, of course, Crofty. And it marks the fact that it's not a fluke. So, you know, their head's in the right space. What more can we see going forwards?
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
Well, look at that. Back-to-back race victories. First at our home Grand Prix, and now at the Mexico City Grand Prix as we take the trophy and shake the hand of the officials. Our Ferrari team could not be more proud of the performance we put up today. Lewis Hamilton will come home second after a great and hard-fought battle with ourselves. And then third position will be Oscar Piastri, number 81 in the Papaya McLaren. And now we all will celebrate this amazing victory.
It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, there you go. 2.6 second margin of victory. We weren't able to match Lewis Hamilton's best lap time. We were about a 10th off. And then Lando Norris, Fernando Alonso, Sergio Perez, Max Verstappen recovering to 17th. And then Alex Albon scoring some points for Williams. Then comes George Russell from 17th, and Kevin Magnussen scoring some points for Haas as well. Charles Leclerc managed to get up into P12, by the end of the race, getting caught in that train behind Logan Sargent was not good for him. And Nico Hulkenberg and Valtteri Bottas both having retirements, as Zhou Guanyu finishes last, 30 seconds off of the pace, so clearly a bad weekend for Kick Sauber. Danny Rick, 10 places down from where he started and losing out to his teammate, so unfortunately not the display we were expecting from him. But yeah, that is 2 races in a row now we have won, and actually 3 that we finished on the podium now, so that is great signs of improvement for Ferrari. But yeah, that is all for this video. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe for more content. Next up, we are coming into Sao Paulo, Brazil for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. And yeah, it's going to be a good one, so make sure you don't miss it. And yeah, I'll see you guys then.